Last year, without arguably its best player, Marlboro High School in New York's Ulster County captured the Section 9 Class C softball championship. Now in 2010, Marlboro has its emotional leader back on the field and at the top of the batting order. But carmenMSG is teaching everyone that while winning titles are fun, playing with a purpose is a lot more meaningful. MSG Varsity's Kevin Devaney Jr. introduces us to one of the most inspirational student athletes you'll ever meet.
Her nickname is Magic. And when carmenMSG got that title 5 years ago from an assistant Marlboro softball coach, it seemed to fit perfectly.
He calls her Magic because the first year she started playing, she was in 8th grade. And her job was to lay down a bunt and just get people around the bases.
The nickname has taken on an entirely new meaning in the past 18 months. Stepping onto the field is Magic now for MSG. Mustering the strength to swing a bat or jog out to shortstop is her boldest act. Because you never know it by looking at her, but MSG has cancer. Yes, this girl, the one running, diving, and whipping the ball across the infield, has 2 tumors in her body, undergoes radiation and chemotherapy treatment once a week, and has no definitive prognosis.
I hit my foot on the base or something the wrong way, and I have a callus or a bruise or just anything. There was a 10% chance that it was going to come back cancerous, and unfortunately it did.
When you say the words "you have cancer," it's even hard now to say them without, getting emotional. And she just was like, "You are kidding. You are, and it was like, "You are kidding," and that was it. The tears came.
It was anger.
Why anger?
Just because out of all the other people in this world, why did it have to happen to me? Like, I was athletic, I had good grades, I was a good person. I really don't think I'm a bad person.
MSG has been fighting rhabdomyosarcoma since September 18th, 2008, when test results dealt her the most unexpected and devastating news of her life. MSG missed most of last season, but is back on the field, playing shortstop and batting near the top of the lineup for the defending Section 9 champs. Playing softball is as much a part of her treatment as any medicine she takes.
It's great. It's like a release. When I get out here, it's like I don't think about it at all.
Softball's her life, she told you. Softball is her life. Softball is what makes her get up in the morning, makes her fight the battle she has to fight.
At this point, Carmen travels 90 minutes to New York City once a week for treatment, which she schedules around game days. She hasn't missed one game yet this season, and judging by the way she runs and dives around the infield, she won't miss one anytime soon.
I've never coached her out of condition once. She might get bumped into, hit on the ground, I'll jump off the bench, and she'll look at me and say, "Get back on the bench." So I'm doing what she says.
Because you don't see her at a 6th state ever, ever, because she's always so strong about everything. And never talks about her being sick or anything. It feels like she doesn't want people to know. She doesn't want people to feel bad for her ever.
I don't know if I can handle it the same way she does, with still be able to go on and push through everything the way she does. I'm inspired by her.
I can't tell she's sick. Physically, I can't see it. Playing ability, she's diving around, she's making all the routine plays, she goes above and beyond.
Despite how strong MSG looks physically, the treatment process is far from over. When she was first diagnosed, doctors only gave her a 20% chance to survive. MSG is determined to beat those odds, but she won't take one day for granted in the meantime.
You go out there and you play and you think, this might be the last game of my life, this might be the last season of my life. But it's really hard not to think about that, but eventually you just teach yourself not to.
She's always been a real positive kid. We've always told her, you fall down, it's okay. Learn by that mistake and don't fall again. In this sense, she's learned how to, really live. If it's taught her nothing else, it's taught her to live. And it's taught a lot of people around her how to live.
What is there to learn when you're put in a situation like this? I knew not to pity myself before. I really don't think I've changed that much throughout the whole. I'm still who I am.
Fortunately, I'm looking at my kid being the miracle in life. Because after what she's been through, she's still doing what she loves. And nobody has stopped her from doing it.
Well, certainly a very emotional and inspirational story. We're now joined in the studio by Kevin Devaney Jr. as a journalist and reporter. A very difficult story to do. But Kevin, there is a bright side to this in terms of the emotional outlook that Carmen has for herself, which is just unbelievable.
Jared, it really is. She's as mature and as determined a young lady as I've ever met, an athlete I've ever met. I got to speak with her the day I went out there, speak with her off camera quite a bit in between shots, in between practice. It actually rained, so we were in the dugout for a couple minutes, and I really got to see the power of mental healing. You're dealt a disease in life, no matter how old you are, whether you're 17 or you're 77. If you have the mental strength to say, I'm going to beat this, and really convince yourself that you are going to beat it, there's no medicine that's really going to compare to that, and she has that. I think at first, as you saw in the piece, her anger that she had, once she got past that and realized that she wasn't given this disease for any reason, that she didn't do anything wrong, she realized that she could beat this, and it's all in her brain, and that she can beat it.
And obviously the physical demands to go from playing a sport which she's so good at to having to go for treatment. The treatment is obviously tough, but she's learned from that as well.
She has, Jared. She goes to Sloan Kettering once a week. She gets a lot of treatment. She goes down there and she sees kids who have forms of cancer that are worse than hers, or even similar, and sees kids in wheelchairs, kids that can't get out of bed, kids who just have no hair, and she realizes how fortunate she is, and that that she is beating it with her positive attitude, with softball, and she credits softball as a big reason as to why she's being able to go run out to shortstop. I mean, running and diving and jumping are things that a lot of the kids that she sees on a week-to-week basis in the hospital couldn't even dream of doing. And she's, a 300 hitter on a very, very good softball team.
And that team is drawing a lot of emotion and inspiration from her as well. And
they did last year. Jared, she didn't get to play in the postseason last year, and she actually said, if I can't play, I don't know if I can be here. And her coaches and her teammates begged her to come. She came to all the postseason games, and she was along for the ride, and she was a great inspiration. And now she's a far greater inspiration because she's just out there. She's at shortstop. I mean, shortstop in softball, Jared, that's 85% of the balls that are hit go there. And she plays hard, and a lot of the girls said, hey, listen, we might have a little, turn an ankle or get a bruise, and we want to go sit in the bench, and we realize, hey, she's out here. We can't go sit on the bench, and she is every source of motivation and inspiration that team will ever need.
Kevin, the last thing I want to ask you is about, from the parental standpoint, one of the toughest things, if not the toughest, any parent has to ever deal with. And her mother seems like she is so positive, and while this is difficult, she is also an emotional source for her daughter.
She absolutely is. They are emotional sources for each other in a lot of ways, Jared. If you ever unfortunately have to be dealt a disease and you needed a best friend to help you through it, I think her mother is that person. She really is. And she, her mother at first, this is their only child, and it was very, very difficult on them. And they saw that the way that she was going to be determined to beat it, and it brought strength to the parents, and it made it a lot easier for them to take that long car ride to the city and take her for a treatment and see her cry, see her upset, but also see her play softball, smile, laugh. And we saw, as we said, it rained that day at practice, and she was drenched, but no one was happier to be out there than she was. And her mother sat there, and it brought a tear to her eye, and honestly, Jared, it brought a tear to our eyes also.
Well, Kevin, a very sad story and a very difficult story to do on your part, and we appreciate you coming in and adding some great perspective on it.
Thanks, Jeff.
That is Kevin Devaney Jr., and we will certainly follow the Marlboro girls softball team as they look to defend their Section 9 Class C softball championship.